guys, welcome back to Vs2pcg Deck Forger, and for tonight we have another great episode as we try to reveal our newest deck tech, and that is the Jessica Jones Infinite Combo. So what is the JJ Infinite Combo or Infinite Engine? Of course, it all stems with the use of the new invention called the Machine. And with the Machine, of course, some other players, both here and abroad, were, of course, have tried to use particular characters like Dark Phoenix or Ultron in order to help, execute the infinite loop, using the Machine. But then again, most of them fail to come up normally in the championship rounds because normally opponents will try to go after your maker or your forge in order for you to prevent getting hold of that machine invention. That's why for this particular deck tech, we have tried to use JJ, so Jessica Jones from the Defenders. First of all, because she has flight, which can help give you a good flight wall, and at the same time she has stuff, which is of course when she gets stunned, then you are able to put her face up again so that she can again block the second or third incoming attacker going after your forge or maker. But then again, the best thing about Jessica Jones, of course, is she has limited invulnerability. So one particular turn, both at level 1 and at level 2, now she can become invulnerable, and so whenever she gets stunned, she doesn't get a wound. So that's why we have used her for our infinite engine. So stay with me in this particular episode of Vs2pcg Deck Forger as we try to explain to you that's Jessica Jones Infinite Engine deck. Okay, so now going to our deck decking table. So we're trying to give you a sample gameplay for our Jessica Jones Infinite Engine. Okay, so let's try to focus on how we're going to play this particular deck. Okay, so again, Jessica Jones Infinite Engine has 3 components. Of course, it has the main character herself, and we also have stacks or a side pile consisting of several inventions, some generic and some due to a particular supporting character. And of course, we have the main deck itself. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give you a sample gameplay of how you're going to play, if you're going to build a Jessica Jones Infinite Engine. So first, we will try to shuffle this so that we will give you some random result. Again, of course, we're not really sure of how this particular deck will go out with, but we have been testing this for the past several weeks or months now. And again, she proves good enough, except of course she got beaten by Outrider in one of our major tournament here in Manila a couple of weeks ago, or I think 1 or 2 months ago. So once we're done shuffling, now we're going to try to give you a good cut on this. So if you're going to play Jessica Jones, of course, since she doesn't have any range except flight, normally you get to place her in your front row position. So now that we are able to cut our deck, let's now try to give you a tri-cut approach. So let's say we will choose 2, 3, and 1. Then we will try to draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we have 7 cards. Now let's try to check what do we have here. Oh, so now we have Sanctum, we have a Dinah Soar, we have Academy, a Mantis, 1 Cosmo, 1 Valkyrie, and 1 Sanctum Fantoro. Good enough. Okay, let's try to check if this thing will work out. Okay, so let's say if you want to go first, it's good, but if you want to go second, then you have to get to draw more cards. So let's say your opponents will try to go first, so he gets to play his resource, then he gets to play character, and he can try to attack you. So once he gets to attack you, then you get one stun. Okay, that's good. So with one stun, okay, let's try to put a counter here so that you're able to see how this thing will progress in the next couple of turns. So let's say you have one wound, but again, no need to fear anything because of course Jessica Jones has 6 health. So now it's our turn. So this is our first turn. So okay, now this one's better. Okay, so now you can put, let's say, a Sanctum here, and you get to play your first character, which is Dinah Soar. So no problem if you are able to put Jessica Jones in the back, because of course Dinah Soar is there to give your character a +1/+1 counter, and she's just of course cannon fodder in order for you to beef up your Jessica Jones. So let's say your opponent, you end your turn, then your opponent plays his second turn. He puts a resource, drops in a character, and maybe let's say he can try to he tries to attack your dinosaur. Then he will try to attack Jessica Jones, but it's okay if you can you know, survive, or if not, you can of course play limited invulnerability. It's up to you. But let's say he's not able to attack you because of course he has now 5 defense. Then he passes his turn, and now it's your second turn. So you draw 2 cards. That's good. Now you have Wasp. Okay. Now if you want to play, if you're going up against a weenie, a swarm weenie, you can put in Lorelei in the forefront, so that will help prevent your opponent from attacking you directly, because Lorelei of course is a good blocker. Then let's say you end your turn and it goes to his third turn. Now again he plays his resource, tries to recruit character, but then if Lorelei can prevent any attack, then that's good for you. Then has nothing else to do, then you can go to your third turn. So for your third turn, we draw 2 more cards. Okay, now we get another set of locations. So let's say we have to play green. Then now you can play your Mantis, and you can play your Wasp. That's a good play. So it's up to you. If you have enough set of defenders for you or blockers for you with Lorelei and Wasp, then you can have your Mantis attack. And now she becomes a resource. So you end your turn. Okay, then it's your opponent's 4th turn. Okay, so now he plays his character and whatsoever. Let's say he's able to drop in on your Wasp and KO her, but then prevent any further attacks because of Lorelei. Then he passes his turn. Then now you get to draw 2 more cards for your 4th turn, and now you have your Forge. So what to do now, of course, with your 5 resource, you're able to, let's say, play your Cane for you to be able to get, oh, that's good. Then you have now a Fortress, and you get to shuffle the rest of the cards revealed back into your deck. Then you get to cut it 3 times. Then let's say 2, 1, and 3. Okay. Then now you can play your Forge. And once Forge is up, that's now the signal for your Jessica Jones to come in to the front, so that any further attacks, let's say on those characters without any flight, or even with flight, can be prevented by Jessica Jones. So let's say you end your turn, then your opponent now gets to, of course, play his 5th turn steps. So he puts in a resource row, a resource in his resource row or a location, and he gets to play another character. And once, of course, he gets to attack, of course, he will take out King. Let's say if you're able to take out Lorelei right now, that's okay. But then, Jessica Jones, once he's able to attack Jessica Jones, what you can do is now pay the green. So now she has limited invulnerability. And when that happens, of course, she gets stunned, but doesn't get any wound. But then she has stopped, so now you can turn her face up once again. We have another attacker, she gets stunned, but then she doesn't get any wound, and you get to turn her face up once again, all the while protecting your torch. So once your opponent, okay, has dwindled down all his attack, he becomes tired of trying to attack Jessica Jones but without wounding her, so you pass his turn. And now Forge, okay, at the start of your turn, you now may activate your Stroke of Genius. So at the start of your turn, you may draw a card, or Forge creates an invention. So let's say you have your machine, you get your machine, put it in your hand, then you draw 2 more cards. So now this is where the infinite combo will kick in. So how to do that? Of course, you try to put in a resource, and with 6 resources, now you can put in your machine at the back row. So with machine, of course, now you have all your supporting characters are at 1 less cost. So first of all, you can now play your Valkyrie. So with Valkyrie, of course, now you can use Chooser of the Slain, and you may recruit characters from your KO pile this turn. And of course, since you have a Captain Swain in your hand, you can also play Captain Swain. And of course, with Captain Swain, you can pay 1 less power symbol for your Valkyrie. And at the same time, okay, you can also play your Cosmo. Just enough to, if you want to nullify any particular character in your deck. And of course, now it's time to play your Wasp. So why are we able to play all those characters? Because they are 1 cost, and with machine, you are able to reduce your supporting characters being recruited all by 1. So with Wasp, you put a -1/-1 counter on your opponent. Then, of course, you are now able to recruit characters from your KO pile. So now out comes the Wasp in your KO pile, and you get to KO the first one, and again put a -1/-1 counter on your opponent. Then again recruit another Wasp, KO the other one, and now put another -1/-1 counter on your opponent's character. And of course, now this will begin the infinite engine loop. Okay, so again, put -1/-1 counters until all of them are stunned. And since you still have this Dinah Soar in your deck, of course you have now, or you're able to put another +1/+1 counter on your Jessica Jones. So if you're able to draw other cards in your deck, let's say your opponent's, of course, is delayed due to all of your characters being stunned, KO'd, and your main character, all their counters removed, then of course you can now go to your 6th turn, which is of course in effect because of that particular. Then you can now choose any of your inventions, any one from your inventions. So it's up to you if you want to use gadget, if you want to use automaton. But for me, I normally use gadget because it can help prevent or remove a particular attacker. Okay, but then I still have those supporting characters up front. It's no problem. Then now you can draw in other cards. Okay, So this time, still have your Cain and your Lorelei. So good thing about this, of course, is still have 6 or 7. Still have 7 in your deck, in your resource. So you have 7 recruit points, and all your characters are reduced by 1. So again, you can now play Lorelei again in your front row, and you can play the other Cain. Okay, again, you try to pay for Valkyrie's superpower. So that's 1, 2, and of course, still have at least 5 resource, 5 recruit points. Then you get to search any basic location that comes in first and try to shuffle your deck. And remember, you still have your Cain from your hand, so you can still recruit another Cain and try to, of course, get another location. From your deck. Okay, now we have another yellow, and try to shuffle our deck again, and still have 4 recruit points. Then again, try to play another Cain so that you are again able to get another location until you are able to use up all your recruit points and you are able to draw in all your basic location. So this we still have a basic location. We'll try to find out. I don't think we have any more basic location. I think we have used them all up. Oh, I guess we have we still have 1 green and still have 3 recruit points, and you don't have any more. So again, all your opponents, of course, characters will become stunned because of the Wasp infinite combo. And what we're looking here now is we're trying to get our hands on a Cypher. So we have around how many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 cards. So let's say you end your turn, but your opponent doesn't do much because, of course, most of their characters during the 6th or 7th turn are all KO'd or stunned. Then try to get another invention from your invention stack. Try to get one that you normally do not use, because we may get to, of course, discard them later. So we have another Wasp, and the good thing about this, of course, is with this particular deck, if you are able to get your hands on, let's say, on a Cypher, then that spells the end of the game. Why? Because once you're able to get your hands on a Cypher, now you're able to drop Cypher in. But since you have also a Captain Swain in your hand, you can now play Captain Swain to pay for Cypher superpower, and the first one gets KO'd. And 1, 2, 3, of course you can play first your location, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You discard them all in your KO pile and you get to draw in. So it's a little bit quite messy, but then you get to draw 9 cards. See, so that's total of 9. And what makes the infinite combo work, of course, is once you're able to get your hands on those other cards, like, of course, Cypher again, then you're able to play it from your hand, discard the first one with your Captain Swain in your KO pile. Now you're able to, of course, play them, play her once again. Then you get to KO the first one and you get to power up Cypher. Then you get to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's total of 7 cards again, then draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then again, do it again. So Cypher, play from your KO pile, KO the first, the one in play, then put in another Captain Swain in order to power up Cypher, and you will discard your 7 cards in your hand and get to draw 7 more. And in effect, you are going to filter out your entire deck. That's 7. Then do it again. Same combo. Cypher. And again, Captain Swain. And with that, discard your 7 cards in your hand and draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do it again one more time and draw the remaining of your cards in your hand. And again, you are able to play cards from your KO pile. And of course, first out comes Arnim Zola. And Arnim Zola, okay, you get your opponent to discard a card. But then again, play a second copy of your Arnim Zola from your deck, from your KO pile, and out goes the first one. And again, your opponent will discard another card. Then Arnim Zola again until all of your opponent's hands are discarded. Then of course, you get to play all your other 1-cost characters. Let's see, how about a Cosmo? Try to nullify all of your opponent's existing characters. Then, as we have done previously, out comes Wasp in order to put those -1/-1 counters to your opponent's characters and force them to become stunned. And finally, to end your combo, of course, is a second copy of Dinah Soar in order for you to be able to put those 1 million counters, 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 and 1 million counters, and 1 million counters, and 1 million counters. Ooh. And that is the infinite engine combo. Okay, so for the third part of our video, we're going to show you what are the components for our Jessica Jones Infinite Engine. So let's try to open up this blue box. Okay, so as I've seen before, our main character, of course, is JJ, otherwise known as Jessica Jones. And again, to explain, Jessica Jones is from the Defenders team. Let's try to get a good focus on her. Okay, so Jessica Jones is there you are. Okay, so at level 1, Jessica Jones is a 2 attack 4 defense character with 6 health, and she has flight. At the same time, she has tough. So the keyword tough means that whenever she gets stunned, okay, you may turn her face up once again and she gains a wound. So as long as there are enough health for a particular character with tough, then you get to turn her over face up once again. And at the same time, she has limited invulnerability, so during any combat, you may pay any green power symbol, and Jessica can't be wounded this turn. And you may use this power only once while Jessica Jones is level 1. And her level up power is of course stake out, so to level up, she needs 5 XP, so when an enemy character appears, Jessica Jones gains an XP. And once of course Jessica Jones gains those particular XP, she now becomes level 2, and her stats increase to 6 attack, 6 defense, still with 6 health and flight, and she still gains the tough, and she has limited invulnerability. Again, during any combat, Jessica can't be wounded this turn, and you may use this power only once while Jessica Jones is of course level 2. So limited invulnerability, you can use it twice. One at level 1 of Jessica Jones, and the second one, of course, is when Jessica Jones reaches level 2. And of course, we saw in the previous demo that limited invulnerability is very important because you need to protect your back row characters like Forge and the other guys, okay, when you are about to execute your infinite combo. So good thing about Jessica Jones is of course she has stop, so whenever she gets stunned, you can turn her face up to again protect those characters at the back row, or you may use those limited invulnerability in order so that she will become invulnerable and can't be wounded while all the while protecting your back row characters. And sometimes you forget this second superpower, and it's very powerful enough on her own. It's called Color the Suspect, and during the main phase you may pay any yellow symbol and look at an enemy player's hand and discard a character from it. So normally I usually forget it, okay? And the good thing about Color the Suspect, of course, is you can use it to remove those nasty Dark Phoenixes, okay, and other supporting characters from your opponent's hand. You can also remove the likes of course, Gilgamesh, okay, all the other stuff that of course can prohibit you from executing your infinite combo. Most especially, of course, Mordo, Goose, okay, Killmonger. Those are the guys who are to color with Color the Suspect. Okay, so now we go to our supporting characters, and you have seen previously that we have a lot of supporting characters. Okay, so most of them are 1, 2, or 3 costs. And of course, the first will be Cypher. And Cypher at 1 cost is a 1 attack 4 defense character with 1 health. And he has Translate, so this superpower enables you during the build phase to pay any yellow power symbol to discard any number of cards, then draw that menu. So in order for you to filter down your deck, in order for you to get your hands on those Wasp, those of course Arnim Zola and Cosmo and all the other one stuff, okay, that will be free when Infinite Machine comes into online. Okay, so Cypher is there to help you filter your hand and your deck. Okay, so you have 4 copies of Cypher for that particular purpose. And next on our list, our second utility character is of course Captain Swain. And at 1 cost, Captain Swain from the Inhumans team is a 1 attack 1 defense character with 1 health. And again, he has Terrigenesis, so when Swain appears, you may exhaust her. If you do, put 2+1/+1 counters on her. And she has also Telepathic Nudge, so when Swain appears, choose a superpower on a supporting character and cost 1 power symbol less to use that power the next time this turn. So what makes the Infinite Engine ticks, of course, for the likes of Cypher, and for of course for the likes of, let's say, Valkyrie, okay, of course you have Captain Swain for you to ensure that you have that steady, okay, number of power symbols that you can use, okay, at the same time when you are trying to execute your infinite combo. So, Captain Swain is there to provide you with those needed power symbols, okay. And your third set of utility character, of course, is Cosmo, and Cosmo is very much needed in this deck if you're going up against Outrider, of course, for you to be able to remove temporarily those of course Mordos, those Killmongers, okay. Cosmo is there to do the job. So Cosmo at 1 cost is from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and of course he's a 1 attack 3 defense character with 1 health, and he has range, and he of course he has nullify. So when Cosmo appears, choose an enemy character and it loses and can't gain keyword and superpowers this turn. So in order for you to temporarily nullify a Killmonger, and of course most especially Mordo and all the other nasty supporting characters from your opponents that will prevent you from executing your infinite combo, Cosmo is there to give you the right passage. Okay, so Cosmo will nullify them. Okay, then at the same time, you have going to your, of course, the main component of your infinite combo, your first set, of course, is Arnim Zola. So Arnim Zola is there in order for you to ensure that you're able to discard all the hands of your opponents once the infinite combo kicks in. So at one cost is a 1 attack, 1 defense character with 1 health and range, and he has DBs. So when Arnim Zola appears, choose an enemy player to discard a card. So he also has transfer consciousness. So when Arnim Zola gets KO'd on an enemy player's turn, search your deck for an Arnim Zola character and reveal it and put it into your hand. So DBs is there for you to be able to make the loop and be able to, of course, discard all of your opponent's hand. Okay, so that is the first set of your component for the infinite combo. Then your next set, of course, are 4 copies of Wasp. And Wasp is very important here for you to be able to put those -1/-1 counters on your opponent and ensure that they're going to get stunned the moment the infinite combo kicks in. So at 1 cost, Wasp is a 1 attack, 2 defense character with 1 health and flight. And she has Sting, so when Wasp appears, put a -1/-1 counter on an enemy character. And she also has Shrink, so Wasp gets attacked the first time each turn. You may cancel the combat. So again, when the infinite loop kicks in, okay, so they go replace with each other, then you get to put those -1/-1 counters infinitely on your opponent's characters. Okay, that is also including those main characters. Okay, then of course we have Dinah Soar, and Dinah Soar is here to give those infinite +1/+1 counters, so you can increase your character stats to 1 million or more. So at 1 cost, she's a 3 attack, 1 defense character with 1 health and flight. And she has support, so when Dinah Soar appears, put a +1/+1 counter on another character on your side. And of course, again, once the infinite combo kicks in, then they get to replace each other, and you get to put those +1/+1 counter on any number of your characters for any number of times as long as you like. So it can be 1 million, 1 gazillion, it's up to you. Okay, and that will normally spell a huge trouble for your opponent. Okay, now going to your second drop, our first set of utility cards, of course, are 4 copies of Kane. And Kane is 2 costs, is from the company team, and he is a 3 attack, 1 defense character with 1 health. And he has Explore, so when Kane appears, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a basic location, and put it into your hand and shuffle the rest of the revealed card into your deck. So a good thing about Kane is once you place him down, he's one of those rare cards wherein you get a 1 loss, okay, or 1 play, then you get 1 gain card because of you're able to get a basic location from your deck. So again, he's not a waste once you are able to put this into your deck, and he's there, of course, to fetch you those green and yellow locations so that you're able to power up Jessica Jones superpowers, or including Cypher and of course Valkyrie's superpowers. And we have another set of utility cards, and this is of course 4 copies of Mantis. And Mantis is very important in this deck for you to be able to ramp easily. So to be able to, of course, get to those Valkyrie in the earliest possible turns so that you can initiate your infinite combo. And Mantis here, of course, she is a 2 cost, 2 attack, 3 defense character with 1 health. And she has Rebirth, so when she gets KO'd, you may turn her into a face down resource on your side. We have 4 copies of this here because, of course, you need to ramp your deck up in order to execute those infinite combo. And we also have 3 copies of Lorelei. So it's up to you if you want to put 3 copies or 4 copies of her. And you have to remove 1 supporting character from your other set of characters. And Lorelei is here, of course, in order for you to stop those massive weenies, which have begun some incursion in the past few months here at Vs2pcg Philippines. And of course, Lorelei at 2 cost is a 3 attack, 3 defense chapter with 1 health from the Brotherhood of Mutants. And she has hypnotic singing, so when Lorelei enters combat, you may give an enemy character in a combat a -2 attack, a -0 defense, or a -1 attack and -1 defense, or a -0 attack and -2 defense this combat. So very powerful to stop those swarm of weenies hitting on your characters. And of course, for our 3 drop, we have 4 copies of Forge. And Forge is from the X-Men team. And Forge is 3 cost, is a 2 attack, 5 defense character with range and 1 health. He has a spell casting ability, so Forge can cast red or skill powered spells. And he has Stroke of Genius, so at the start of your turn, you may draw a card or Forge creates an invention. So going to invention, of course, we have those particular set of inventions that you have seen a while ago. And of course, we can discuss about Gadget. So Gadget is an invention type 1, so this card starts the game in your invention 5. So it can do make things right, so it can be during combat. If it's your turn, add an attacker into combat, or during any combat, if it's an enemy's turn, remove an attacker from the combat. And besides that, of course, we have Weapon. This is one of those generic inventions, so at 0 cost, you can also make things right. So when this equipment appears, choose 1 for it to gain. So equipped character has +5 attack, +0 defense and range, or equipped character has +0 attack, +5 defense and range. Besides, of course, Weapon and Gadget, we also have Automaton. And Automaton is a 1 cost invention supporting character. And she has 4 attack, 2 defense with range and 2 health. And she can also make things right. So when this character appears, choose 1 for it to gain. So she can either gain lethal, so when she becomes attacker and is able to stun a defender, she gets to KO it instantly, or she gets shrink. Similar to Ant-Man and Wasp, wherein the first time she's attacked, during any combat, then she gets to cancel that combat. So very powerful invention supporting character. And of course, the main highlight of our deck is the machine. So what makes the infinite combo tick is, of course, the machine. So it can make things right. So when the machine appears, choose 1 for it to gain. So you may pay 1 less to recruit supporting characters, or supporting characters on your side have +2 attack, +2 defense. So a good thing about this is, of course, the machine will enable you to effect the infinite combo. Okay, so before we go to other set of inventions, let's try to continue with our deck. And we skip the 4th and 5th drop and go straight ahead to our 6th drop. And of course, we have one of the biggest character in your deck, and that is the 6th drop, Valkyrie. So Valkyrie is from the Defenders, and she has a 5 attack, 6 defense stats with 2 health and flight. And she is the chooser of the slain, so during the build phase, you may pay any yellow power symbol, and you may recruit characters from your KO pile this turn. So what makes the loop go infinite is when Valkyrie allows all your 1 cost character to be able to be played from your KO pile, replace the other, KO it, then replace it again, recruit it, because of course machine will now make it 1 less cost, to play. So we have seen that a while ago. And finally, our last set of supporting character is 1 copy of the Maker, and at 6 cost, he is a 6 attack, 8 defense character with 2 health from the Frightful team. and he has multiversal omnipresence, so you may include up to 5 different equipment without invention to your invention file. Only the maker can invent them. And similar to Forge, he also has Stroke of Genius, so at the start of your turn, draw a card or the maker creates an invention. So we have put one copy of maker here, and we can remove him, of course, because we need to include at least 5 of this equipment which has no invention but can now be played in your invention file. So that will add to your stacks of invention in your deck. Okay, so it's not really part of your 60 card deck, but it's an additional bonus because of the maker. And of course we have the nullifier, which is very important here in this deck, because once you're able to place those 1 million counters on your characters with some way to prevent, okay, of course, some nasty cards like, of course, Dark Phoenix from removing counters from the game. And nullifiers there is, of course, to be able to ensure that. And you also have 4 copies of the Cosmic Cube. So the first copy is, of course, Cosmic Cube. It's a one of a kind. Okay, this one is to remove any set of cards from your opponent's deck. And the yellow one, the 3 cost, is to remove any card or set of cards from your opponent's hand. And of course, finally, we have the green one, which is to reshape the soul and to be able to remove any supporting character, and with all those, of course, with similar name from the game. And finally, our last equipment for your invention pile is the Serpent Crown. And again, we all know that Serpent Crown is there to, again, steal any opponent's character, okay, and for you to be able to use it against them. Okay, so now we go to our locations. This particular deck, of course, has no plot twist, doesn't really need one, and go straight to the location themselves. Of course, first we have 4 copies of Fortress, and of course, Fortress is there to give you those green power symbols to be able to pay, of course, for Jessica Jones limited invulnerability, most especially for that. And of course, if you are able to play the 4 cost Cosmic Cube, you can also use that to pay for that. Okay, then we also have 4 copies of Academy, and Academy is very useful in this deck, of course, because you have several copies of characters that have or are indeed of yellow power symbols for their superpower, most especially Cypher, and of course you also have Jessica Jones, and you also have Valkyrie. And of course, if you're able to play that 3 cost Cosmic Cube, you can also use that for that particular equipment. And of course, we have 4 copies of School for Gifted Youngsters, and School for Gifted Youngsters, of course, is used for Cypher's superpower, which is to translate. And again, for you to be able to replace those cards from your hand, then again get a new fresh set of cards again from your deck, then all those cards KO'd or put in the KO pile are again cannon fodder for the infinite combo once that it becomes online. And finally, we also have 4 copies of Sanctum Sanctorum, and this is the wild location for the Defenders team, and most especially used for Jessica Jones, limited invulnerability, Color the Suspect, and of course Valkyrie's Chooser of the Sling. So that's it, guys. So this is the infinite combo. So I hope you like what we have discussed here in this particular episode, and again, it's up to you to try, if you want to try to tweak it. Okay, again, the original concept was created long before by the likes of players like Ralph Edwards and the other guys from the US, but most especially they were the ones who were using other main characters like Dark Phoenix and all the other tough 7 health characters in the game. But then again, here in the Philippines, we were the first ones to actually use Jessica Jones, okay, because Jessica Jones has seen that it really works well with Valkyrie, and also it has stuff so it can better protect your opponent's character, your character from your opponent's attackers, because of her tough and limited invulnerability aspect. Okay, so again, before we go, we'd like to thank all our sponsors. First of all, we'd like to thank our friends from the Vs2pcg Collective. Okay, so Vs2pcg Collective is the international community for Vs2pcg players in the United States and other countries. Okay, this is the international community for Vs2pcg. Okay, and we also like to thank our friends from the Build Phase. So Build Phase USA, these are the official sponsor for Build Phase League Philippines, and I'd like to thank our friends like Sir Joe Vitelli and Mr. Benjamin, Mr. Ben Rosin. Okay, good friends, and they have been avid supporters of our Vs2pcg League here in Manila. And of course, we'd like to thank our official sponsor, Treats for Them and Virtual Mall Philippines. So we'd like to thank all of them. Okay, thank you very much. So if you really like to order treats or buy things for yourself or for your friends and family, try the new Virtual Mall Philippines. So Virtual Mall Philippines is now available at the Google Play Store, and you can also visit their official website, which is www.vmphilippines.com. And we also like to thank our other sponsors like, of course, Ecosphere. So if you need safe and pure drinking water without the need for any of those blue bottled waters, or you need them to be delivered at your home and you're really unsure of how safe they are being treated in your local water station, try to buy yourself, your house, or your home with your own Ecosphere water system. So it has 4 stages of water purification. Okay, and it's very good, very compact, that you can fit right into any sink. So again, if you like to inquire about Ecosphere, so try to visit Newlen, that's NU space LEN, okay, at the Facebook, okay, and you can inquire on how to get yourself or your home a new Ecosphere water system. And of course, we'd like to thank our official sponsor. We'd like to thank for our official venue, and like to thank, of course, Forge Hobby Place. And Forge Hobby Place is located at 70 along Naga Road, that is in Pulanlupa, Las Piñas City, Philippines. So we will also have an upcoming new branch in the north, and that is Forge Hobby Place North, and it will be located in Monumento, in Caloocan City, Philippines, and it will be opening this August. So watch out for it, and we will be announced more on where the exact location is of Forge Hobby Place North in Caloocan City. And of course, we have our other venue up north, and that is in PM Apartments. So PM Apartments is located at number 24 Matalino Street in Diliman, Quezon City, Philippines. So guys, once again, this is Jessica Jones, and before we sign off, we would like to, of course, and really appreciate you giving us all those likes and subscribes, and of course keep on following us here at Vs2pcg Deck Forger. At the same time, get more updates from our Vs2pcg Philippine store, and that is in our official Facebook page at Vs2pcg Phil's store. And guys, this is Jessica Jones, and this is once again the Infinite Engine. So time to get out here, and while we are preparing for the upcoming Heroes versus Villains this Sunday. Thank you very much, guys, and good night.